everyone, welcome to Podcast for Change. Today we have special guest, Miss Iona from Senior Sustainability Manager at Jakarta E-Prix and Miss Ella from Senior Sustainability of Japro. And my name is Yon Octaviani as Partnership Management Lead at Waste for Change. And now we have very special contents and very special discussion as well, where we're gonna talk about the sustainability of E-Prix team. First, hello and welcome to Waste for Change. How are you guys today?
Very good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I think you guys have seen our facility as well, and I hope you get the change of seeing what we do at Waste for Change and what we will do as well in your events tomorrow. So first of all, I want to say thank you for your presence here. It's been very nice to have this kind of organization, this kind of institution that have such awareness, because not all organizers have this kind of awareness. So very happy to be one of your collaborators and partners here in the waste management system. Okay, so I will go ask my first question. Hi, Iona. I spell your name right? Huh?
Yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
So I want to know, how did the Formula E start with the conception or ideas of being the first world net zero sport emission race?
So it started really at the very beginning of the sport. So Formula E is really unique in its position that we had sustainability really embedded in the core of our organisation right when it was thought out in 2012, and then even when we started racing in 2014. So we're really unique in the sense that we've already had sustainability embedded in the core. So it was really about finding that leadership position and maintaining that leadership position for sustainability in sport. So that's really the journey that we've been on from the very beginning, from our very first race in 2014 until now. And becoming the first net zero carbon sport was really important to us, because that's evidencing that not only do we monitor and measure the emissions of our entire championship, so the Jakarta E-Prix, but all of the others within our championship too, that we reduce our emissions as much as possible through waste reduction initiatives, but much wider than that too. And then we offset what's unavoidable. So that's one of our really unique positions compared to other sort of sports and motorsports. And that was really important to us as a championship.
Yeah, so it's a more holistic approach in regards of being sustainable and having like net zero sport emission race.
Exactly.
And but in the core values of Jakarta E-Prix. Right?
Exactly. And it makes us more credible as a championship and really unique as well.
Yes.
Standing out from all of the others.
Yes. Very, very
Exactly.
Okay, so my next question is for both your Jakarta E-Prix and Japro. What are the sustainable factors that are considered in implementing Formula E? Maybe start from Iona.
Of course. So we have an overarching standard called ISO 2012-1, which is an international standard for sustainable events. And we have achieved that for the entire championship back in season 5. So that means that we holistically have to consider all sustainability throughout the entire operations, planning and delivery of our events. So automatically this is already considered, and Jakarta is actually going to be audited against the standard this year as well, which means that our internal auditor will be coming on site and interviewing and actually visually seeing how this is fully integrated on site as well. This ranges, there's a lot of different areas and areas of planning, but planning and control generally, but this can be our venue operations, our security, health and safety, legal and other compliance, making sure, and venue operations considers waste, of course, but also things like energy, water, public transport, food and beverage. So really, I think everything you can think of on every field. Yeah, so it's a big job, but really within the standard, that's what is expected of us, and that's really what we try and pull through at all of our E-Prix.
Yeah, so in every activity, in every department, you have to ensure that this is all sustainable. This is all in regards to the compliance.
Exactly, and how each department is embedding that into their own planning and operations of their area of the event, making sure that we're doing everything as much as possible to be sustainable.
Wow, what a very great job that you guys do.
A hard job. But then we have people like Miss Ella here, so she's helping to implement it on the ground. So go on.
Sure. So from a Japo perspective, so as we are expanding our business into like sportainment, we try to bring the ideas that sportainment can be sustainable. Then we try to promote our event through Jakarta E-Prix to also comply with the ISO that Formula E operation put on that, and also we try to promote Jakarta as the very first city that to conduct the sustainability event. Start not only from taking care of the environment, but a holistic way that we try to comply with all of the the alignment with the FIO standard.
Wow, such a great collaboration, you guys. Okay, so my third question is, how vital are responsible waste management efforts in implementing Formula E? Maybe I start with Miss Ella first.
Well, yeah, from the Jakpro perspective itself, because as a company which mainly in construction thing, we are it's daily to day that we operate, that we recycling waste, and then through this event, Jakpro try to show to wider people, wider community that even though we are focusing on infrastructure, but then through this event we try to bring the ideas of sustainability is like easy things to do, starting from
Very small thing.
yeah, very small thing, recycling your waste, put the waste through the waste stream. That we try to educate wider people through the sport event, because we believe that sport is very close to the Indonesian culture. Then this is the start that we do.
Yep. So true. Okay, how about you, Aina? What do you think is the vital? How vital being responsible waste management here?
For Formula E, it's equally as important. I think because we measure and report on this as part of our entire championship footprint, it's something that we need to reduce actively, because we have actually a target to reduce our emissions by 45% by 2030. So it's something that actively we want to make sure is integrated, maximized, and reduced as much as possible. But also, as Ella said, it's probably one of the biggest things on site at our E-Prix is in terms of perception. So although it may not be the biggest contributor to our footprint, it's one of the ways in which we can connect closely to our fans on sustainability. So if we can increase that awareness, the visibility, the gamification, the entertainment of recycling, of awareness on site, making it a bit more fun, appealing, simplified as well, then that's like the biggest aim for us, sort of changing those behaviors, or having people leave our event feeling a bit more inspired or educated, or knowing how maybe they can implement it into their own daily lives and reduce their own waste overall as well.
Yes, as Miss Ella said, this is the very first step for making them aware by having the responsible waste management being implemented at Jakarta E-Prix. They might have the idea, okay, this is not very hard to do. I just need to sorting some waste starting from my home. So it's a really great initiation that is being conducted with Jakpro and Jakarta E-Prix. So, wow. Okay. And what waste handling steps that have been prepared to organize the Formula E, Iona?
Yeah, I can start with maybe the overall sort of process for Formula E, and then Ella is definitely the expert here on the ground. But we have an overall sort of process and procedures in place relating to waste management, reduction, disposal, and general awareness and education. So we have this Bible that we call the event specifications, which integrates all of this. Yeah, it's like, we call it the Bible basically, because it's the rules of engagement on how to deliver an E-Prix, and this includes waste management. So this is about making sure that we work with suppliers who are licensed, credible, sustainable, that make sure that they recycle, basically all of the things like Waste for Change do. And that provide us a report so that we can communicate on how much we have recycled and make sure it's measured and offset. And then within that as well, so understanding the local infrastructure through the supplier and implementing that on our sites to make sure that it's understandable for the spectators, the fans that come on site, and really making sure it's as integrated as possible onto our event. And then having what we would call recycling ranges on the site as well to help then maximize. Yeah,
such a fun name.
Yeah, exactly. And they wear bright green colors, so they're very recognizable on site. But to really make sure that that awareness of recycling is maximized, and to ensure we can implement as best as possible.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
So this event, like Jakpro staff, we are starting to familiarize the staff. Like this event comply with the responsible waste management. So all of the crew, local staff, Jakpro staff are well aware that we are recycling. We do the waste management in very great manner. So I believe all of that people in Jakpro who are responsible being the organizing committee are very aware that we are very responsible on doing our waste, and that's a very high achievement, because I believe through that they just also can apply it at home, not only during our daily life in work at the circuit, for example. But then after the race, even we just being more aware, we started that to recycling our waste, and also we start to apply in our Jakpro asset. Yeah.
That's very great to hear. So from Jakarta E-Prix, you guys have the Bible, and from Jakpro, all of the staff is being familiarized with any activity in regards of reducing waste and being responsible to their own waste.
Yeah.
Wow. And again, this is called come to the very first core of to make awareness in our own surrounding, in our society, which is already implemented here in Jakpro companies and also Jakarta E-Prix on all end-to-end activity. Okay. And the next question is, what are the consideration of your team from Jakpro and Jakarta E-Prix in choosing Waste for Change as the responsible waste management partner? Maybe start from Miss Ella.
Yeah, well, I know Waste for Change at the very first race. I believe it's on season 8. So we start to, assessing several vendors, and we believe after that long research, then we find the only one that in Indonesia, vendors that have the license and also do the waste journey report in very great way. We can understood, even though we are not, on that very technicalities on that. But then Waste for Change proof that, it can comply with all our needs. And we believe that Waste for Change is the one that can help us to succeed this event.
Okay, very great to hear that. How about you, Ayana?
Yeah, I would just echo what Ella said. So we always look for suppliers that have the shared sustainability goals with FIO and with Jakpro, and that will tick all the boxes for us. So like what Ella said in terms of the waste journey reports, the maximizing of recycling, knowing where the waste ends up. So knowing that with Waste for Change at zero waste to landfill, all of these are very important aspects to us because we appear to be sustainable championship and event, but we want to work with suppliers that have those shared goals and that show those shared actions as well, and that we get the deliverables. So as Ella said, it was first in season 8, and we're back here again in season 9, collaborating with you again because of all of those reasons.
I see. So one of the main points is the transparency that you guys have from all the waste journey report that we shared to you there.
Correct.
Okay, cool. And what do you expect from the visitors that will attend the events and all the organizers that will attend the events as well regarding the implementation of the responsible waste management later on?
I think what we're expecting hopefully is for them to sort of pick up the shared behaviours, to really understand what we're trying to achieve, to collaborate with us, work together with us, to understand the sort of simple measures that we're putting in place, and to support us on this journey, because ultimately we can only maximize recycling with the support of every single person on the site, whether that's from Formula FIO, from Jakpro, the spectators, the Formula E teams, the suppliers, the media, the broadcast, everybody. So really, this very simple message is to just collaborate, and I think that's what we're doing in the room here with Waste for Change, with Jakpro, and with FIO. But also, that's what we would hopefully, and we will hopefully see at the Jakarta E-Prix as well.
Yes.
Sure. Our hopes for all of the ecosystem, then we're hoping that they start to recycling. Because as simple as that, because we've heard some testimony from our partners, from the F&B stands there, from the spectators, from the communities that involved in our activity. They start to realize, oh wow, this is the best way to do our recycling, and Jakpro and also with Formula E show us how to do it in very great way, and it's not hard to do.
Yeah, exactly. So for you guys that's watching it, please do sorting your waste when you come and attend the event. It's just as simple as that, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And the next question is for Formula E team. How's the standardization of the sustainability principle applied in implementing Formula E here in Jakarta?
Yeah, so I guess we have the overarching principles of what we call ISO 2012-1, as I've mentioned, the Sustainable Event Standard, but also Formula E as part of a signatory, so the UNFCCC Sports for Climate Action Framework. And under that, there are several principles. So the first one is understanding the systems. And with this is the Bible that I mentioned. So having the processes in place in terms of the supplier, the deliverables of the supplier, the sustainability of the supplier. And then the reduction measures. So what are we putting in place as FEO to reduce the amount of waste on site? So this is things like phasing out of single-use plastics, where we try and not have as many single-use plastic bottles on site. We've also changed some of our Formula E branding to be PVC-free, which means it's recyclable. So basically trying to reduce the amount of waste that we send to landfill. And then education, which we've already discussed. So how can we gamify the approach? How can we make it fun, simple, understandable for all? And then the sort of measure is the final one to reduce, and that is reporting. So getting the data for the waste recycling to understand exactly what percentage we are recycling at that event, so we can understand our championship average and try and increase that year on year, because we want to recycle as much as possible. And then include that within our carbon footprinting and offsetting. So all of our waste management is then included within our net zero carbon approach. So
that in the 2013 you wish to reduce by?
Yes, so by 2030 we hope to reduce by 45%.
45.
Yeah,
okay.
And that's waste management, but that's everything else as well. So we're looking at things like logistics, so how we freight everything to the events. We're looking at energy, how we power the events, but waste is important too, because as I mentioned, in terms of perception,
Yes.
So lots of different things going on, but that's the overall principle of FEO.
So really the holistic approach.
Correct.
From energy, from waste, and any effort on reducing any carbon emission that might be produced during the event.
Exactly, and then those are external standards, so these are all verified too. So we have third-party audits for ISO 2012-1, and then we have to report against the other frameworks. So they also look at everything we're doing relating to waste management to make sure that they're also happy with the fact that we're integrating as best as possible.
Yeah, so it's not that you only claim to
Yes,
be, but
exactly.
it's verified.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So the last question is, what is your impression and your experience when you are collaborating with Waste for Change as your responsible waste management partner in the past year?
I mean, my experience has been extremely positive. I think, as I mentioned, we started working together in season 8, and we're already in season 9, and we've expanded the partnership this year. We're also working together on a beach clean tomorrow to support World Environment Day on Monday. And we're hoping, it's going to be bigger and better this year. And I think it's extremely important to have these partnerships to really showcase what can be achieved collectively. Because I think without Jack Pro and without Waste for Change, we wouldn't be able to deliver on the promise of a sustainable event. So extremely positive, and I hope that it's there's a journey to come still as well.
Priscilla.
Yeah. What was that?
What is your impression and your experience working with Waste for Change?
Yeah, my experience for the last year and this year is very great. Waste for Change team is very supportive, helpful, and very informative. So we've been through all of like working together. They are very well knowledgeable when we are finding, kind of like it's very technicalities. Then Waste for Change come to the rescue. It's very like Waste for Change deliver a very easy way to to educate wider communities, and our partnership is like very smooth. So we are happy to working together this year again.
Yeah, very happy to work with you guys as well. So I think what I want to conclude from our discussion right now is this is the holistic approach, and this is being responsibly in your waste is a collaborative initiative. I cannot just do it alone. Waste for Change cannot do it alone. Jakpro and Jakarta Formula E-Prix in this sense want to have an approach, want to have a holistic activity that might get all of the visitors, all of the organizers that will attend to be really see and really aware that, okay, this is as simple as sorting your waste when you're coming to this event. So hopefully we will see how the people will change their behavior afterwards. And anything else that you want to add?
No, I think so. I mean, just also, I mean, it's great to see how far you have also come in 1 year as well. And I hope that's a sign of things to come in Indonesia. And also hopefully seeing other events popping up in Indonesia. And of this being on this same journey, I understand FIA are quite advanced in this, but it's also a case of just starting small and hopefully implementing the basics and then working on this. We've existed for almost, 10 years racing. So we've been on this journey for a long time. But hopefully this is also inspiration for even other event organizers and sports. That this can be a collaboration and a journey, and they can implement that as easily as we can too.
Yes, hopefully there are more to come when it comes to like organizing an event, because in every offline event there will be like waste, and to have this collaborative initiative meanings at the very least we can be responsible to the waste that we created when the event is conducted.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all from me as well. I want to say thank you for Iona. Hopefully the events will be smooth, and I will also join the beach cleanup tomorrow.
Amazing. Great to see you there.
Yes, I'll see you there. And Miss Ella, thank you. I'm Yohan Octaviani from Partnership Management Lead at Waste for Change. Thank you guys so much for the time, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Waste for Change.